please stop scrolling. What you're about to learn has taken me almost 40 years of real estate investing. Since the age of 14, I've been buying, renovating, and renting real estate. Now in 5 different continents, 15 countries. I've helped the number 1 or number 2 real estate developer grow their businesses. We've done over $6 billion in real estate. But the innovation you're going to learn about today is incredible. This is the most important development in real estate in over 40 years, and I'm so excited you're going to join me. I think the reason I bought my second home and the reason our customers are buying our second homes are going to a hotel is fun. You can pack up your suitcases and you can go into that small, average hotel room is 250 square feet. To put that in perspective, our average bedroom at Casaco is 250 square feet. That's just the bedroom. So it's a very different experience in a hotel versus an entire home. Our homes are thousands of square feet per floor. They have every luxury, and it's nice to be able to leave things behind. So in all of our Casaco homes, you can leave your personal belongings behind. It's a very different experience going to your second home versus just going to that hotel or resort for a week. Very different. It's much more relaxing to go to your second home when you just get in the car and just show up. And there's a comfort of knowing how everything works, where everything is. And that's really the wonderful part of Casaco. And these homes are big enough to entertain, having friends over, having family over, or stay with you. It's very difficult to do that when you're renting a hotel or a resort. It's not really feasible. So in a Casaco home, you can really build lifelong memories, whether it's your anniversary, whether it's your birthday or your kids' birthdays. It could be Christmas, it could be New Year's, it could be Hanukkah. There's so many incredible times we get to celebrate. And if you think about the last 2 years of our life, the government and the pandemic and this horrible virus took 2 years of our best times away. I mean, we'll never get those 2 years back. So a lot of people now, they want to be with what's most important to them, which are friends and family. And Casaco allows them to do that in an affordable and a sustainable way. And that's why what we think we're doing is so important. And the memories that you have your entire life are usually those memories with family and friends. And now we're giving people a home to do that in. So what I loved about my property in Muskoka is I could get in the car and not really have to pack anything. I mean, obviously food, we'd stop and get some food or bring some stuff. But to have a place where we had kind of our core things was amazing. Because, it's kind of stressful packing when you're going on vacation, thinking about, especially when you've got kids, and thinking about not just about, your toiletries, but the kids' toothbrushes and their favorite things. It's a lot of work. So what I loved about having a second home is the fact that you could just jump in your car, bring little to nothing, and have everything you need, in that home. So that was really great. The second thing I loved is the neighbors. Today, some of my very best friends are the next door neighbors and people on our lake or people in the community and the shopkeepers and the owners. Like some of my very best friends in life are from the community of that second home. And that's what I love about Casaco. So when you become a Casaco second home owner, even if you only own 1/8 or 1/4, you are going to develop friendships that will last a lifetime. These will be some of the best friends you'll ever meet. And again, my experience is these are lifelong friends because when you're in your second home, you're relaxed. You're in a different environment. It's not like being in the city where you tend to be, more uptight or stressed out, or you're running from work to dropping kids off to activities. It's more of a stressful. When you go to your second home, you breathe, you relax, and so do your friends and neighbors that are there. So I can tell you from a depth of relationship perspective, it's next level. Your kids, the friendships that your kids will develop in the second home community will be some of the strongest bonds they'll ever have. So it's very different. It's a very different experience for people that haven't had a second home. It's very different than just like entertaining in your primary home. People feel different, they act different. And obviously our homes are in beautiful environments, whether they're by the ocean or by lakes, incredible views. There's something magical when you're looking forward to the sunrise. There's something magical when every night you're watching that sunset. It's amazing. And people are much less concerned about the internet connection or what's on Netflix at night. They're enjoying the moment. They're enjoying the simplicity of life. And I think that really happens in second homes, and it doesn't really happen in our primary homes. So the biggest challenge of a second home, first of all, is finding one, because second homes are usually in more remote locations. So you're spending hours driving around. There's not that many of them. And a lot of these second homes could be on dirt roads, gravel roads. Maybe they're not paved roads. Maybe these roads they don't have, like, for example, if you're in a Canadian climate, maybe they don't even have snowplow services. Maybe they don't have mailboxes. When you go to finance those homes, it's difficult. All of a sudden, if you're not on a paved road or you don't have year-round snow removal, most banks won't finance that. Some of the beautiful properties, again, are more remote. You might not have reliable internet, and that's virtually true of all second homes. It's very rare you're going to find a second home with fiber optic internet. So you worry about internet connections. Then you start thinking about, well, who's going to maintain the property when I'm not there? If you look at your insurance policy, virtually all second home insurance policies will have a clause in there, and it'll say that somebody must go out to that home every 4 days. And if somebody doesn't go check on the home every 4 days, you're no longer covered. So that's something that your insurance broker doesn't tell you. But when you actually look at your policy carefully and you realize, oh my gosh, no one's actually gone to my second home for 6 months, well, God forbid, it gets flooded or your pipes freeze or anything can happen. Guess what? You're not covered. Or if there's a fire, then you start thinking about, well, if there was a fire, what if I didn't have someone to go and plow that driveway? I mean, all of these things are not easy. They're not easy to do when you're a small community, a small town with not a lot of services available to you. Then when you get to the property, you have to worry about, did somebody break in? There's a lot of people know that most people don't use their second homes. There's a lot of break-ins. And even if you had a sophisticated alarm system, by the time that somebody broke into your place, by the time the police showed up, it could be an hour delay. I mean, these police stations aren't close to your second home. So these are all things that you realize. And when you talk to most second homeowners, they start realizing, yeah, I've been actually broken into a few times, or they start realizing, oh, that PlayStation thing that we had was missing, or oh, that Rolex I thought I left in the drawer is gone. There's things that happen in real life. And then because the property might be on a septic system, there might be a well. A lot of people don't teach you about pumping out septic systems. I mean, I can go on and on about things in rural life that most city dwellers don't know anything about. And again, you have to maintain these things. So I would say to you, there's a whole host of maintenance issues that most of us don't really have a clue what we're doing, and we don't have really the time or the inclination to learn about those things, or to start learning how to pump out septic tanks, or deal with the end of the season you've got to put antifreeze in your water to close your cottage or whatever it is. There's just a host of things that aren't glamorous, but they're super important. Because if all of a sudden your water lines break or there's things happen, these repairs are in the tens of thousands of dollars. So they're very expensive to deal with. Whether it could be ice on your roof, I mean, I can go on and on. But there's a whole host of things. So finding a team of people, it's not one person that's going to take care of that property. You have to build a team of people to run that property. And again, when you have a team of people, you've got to manage those people. And it's like herding cats. It's not easy. So these are some of the problems that Casaco addresses. And we create a 12-month budget and a maintenance schedule so you know what your costs are going to be, and we run it for you. So when you show up to your Casaco home, you're just there to enjoy it. You're not there to worry about any of the potential maintenance issues. Yeah, it's maintenance, and it's for example, let's talk about water filtration. So if you forget to change your water filters, and this is easy to forget, all of a sudden your whole family gets sick, they get E. coli, they get some kind of poisoning. Like, these are serious things. So, it's little maintenance things that aren't just luxuries. But if you forget to change those water filters and all of a sudden people are getting sick, these are real issues. Then there's insurance, there's liability issues. So for example, if you have a second home and let's say you're on the water and there's an accident, even if it's somebody that you've invited to that property, well, when they sue, they start suing everybody. I have a personal example of a friend of mine that was renting a cottage. He didn't own the cottage, and he invited another friend up, and that friend had, I guess, too much to drink. Actually wasn't even at his property, but came and he fell. It's a horrendous fall. It was a terrible accident. But we're talking about millions of dollars of lawsuits that lasted for, years and years and years. These are some of the things that people don't think about. And again, having the security of an LLC, a limited liability company, where if there was a horrendous accident or something happened, you don't go bankrupt. You don't lose your life savings. And I can tell you a personal experience that people I've met that have lost everything because of an accident that happened at a second home. So again, none of these things are glamorous to talk about, but at Casaco, our job is to make sure that not only did you buy it well, but you are secure from a liability perspective, from a financial perspective. If your partner was to default on paying those operating expenses, we've got a system in place for that, so you're not liable for them. So again, we've spent a lot of time and energy figuring out all the things wrong with second home ownership and getting a solution for it. And I think it's a beautiful, elegant solution. And today I can tell you now, for the first time in history, you could own a second home, for example, in Portugal, a second home in Mexico, a second home in Costa Rica, a second home in the US, a second home in Canada. Let's assume it's an eighth at each one, less than the price of one home, without any work, without any stress, without any hassle. So imagine owning real estate in 5 countries and multiple jurisdictions with no hassle, no stress, all for the price of less than one home, where you've got to do everything. So we think we've come up with something really, really unique, and we're super excited about it.